I am the main character. Everyone looks at me. Everyone thinks about me. Everyone talks about me. Everyone judges me. When I'm walking in public, people are judging the way I look. People are judging the clothes I'm wearing. People are judging how I act and behave. I want everyone that sees me to have a good opinion about me. End quote. My name is Muhammad, proud and practicing Muslim, South African computer science student at one of the top 3 universities in South Africa. I say that only to give validity to my speech, so that you may know that I am a person just like you, with a life like you. Now, this whole concept of trying to block out the noise of the opinions around you is maybe something that honestly I haven't mastered myself. But before I get into a specific story that kind of opened up my mind to this whole idea was, first I want to give a verse that speaks about, now the context of this verse is not necessarily the context that I'm giving it in, but I think it fits in a quite irrelevant type of way. فَلَا تَخَافُوهُمْ وَخَافُونِي إِن كُنْتُمْ مُؤْمِنِينَ. Now there's a portion before this verse, but I just want to mention the latter end of the verse, where the Almighty says, so do not fear them, fear me if you're true believers. Now I think it's super interesting when you compare it to, because I think it truly can be argued that it's fear that is leading us to do certain things. It's the fear of what people might say. It's the fear of us having a bad reputation. It's the fear of someone saying something negative about us, right? And then, Allah says very clearly, فَلَا تَخَافُوهُمْ وَخَافُونِ إِن كُنْتُمْ مُؤْمِنِينَ. So, as a command, do not fear them. Fear me instead. So I think it's an interesting one to contemplate about. That being said, I think, the moment for me that kind of opened up my mind to the whole idea that no one truly cares is there was an event many years ago that I attended while I was in high school. This event I would describe as kind of informal. It was kind of just nothing serious, whatever, kind of get together, a lot of people from my school were there, whatever. On this day, I decided that I was going to, whether I want to admit or not, basically like dress to impress. And then I guess I kind of dressed in a way where I truly was trying to show off. Kind of dressed nice, obviously very subjective or whatever, what dressing nice is. But I think I dressed above what everyone else was trying to dress like. Like I said, it was an informal event. That being said, post that event, I realized, even though yes, I might have got some recognition, I might have got some eyes, there was just this moment of life goes on afterwards. Let's just argue that this was on a weekend, for example. That next week, that next Monday, I was going to go back to school. No one was going to say, oh wow, you look so good, and everyone was going to, clap for me and praise me. Like, come on. Everyone's life went on. My life went on. And it was like, okay, cool. That was that. So I think that moment kind of made things clear that, like, look, sure, I'm not advocating that you go out in public representing yourself in a way that is disrespectful to yourself and to your family and so on. I mean, you don't clean up yourself, you don't at least look presentable and so on. But this idea that, the concept of like the main character and the spotlight is on you, and there's this camera or even production team following you around, following your every move when you're outside. You can't do a thing wrong. Come on, man. People have lives. They see you. Their lives go on. It's an important concept, because sometimes we live our lives trying to seek the validation of others, which I don't know how far that actually gets you. So just to conclude, the verse again, right, with Almighty says, don't fear them. Fear me instead. We spend so much time, maybe attending to how we look, how we act, how we behave, because arguably the fear that we have from, what others might say. But how much time do we attribute, how much time do we give to, making sure that Allah is pleased with us, making sure that Allah doesn't have a bad opinion about us, right? And again, I mean, there's also, I mean, you look at this whole concept on a long enough time horizon. At the end of your life, when you pass away, with all due respect, in about 3 to 6 months, no one cares about you. No one's gonna think about you. I mean, if you were blessed enough to be influential throughout your life, there might be certain individuals that think about you every now and then, but my point stands that people's lives will move on. They can't just sit and mourn you all day. So, that being said, just to make a point here, live a life that is conducive and that actually is in line with your goals, what you're trying to achieve. Don't try to focus and isolate what people want of me, what's gonna put me in a certain perspective in people's eyes. Do what you need to do, because no one's gonna remember you. Live a life and do the things that you want to be proud that you did, grateful that you did. And yeah, that's that.